Have you ever had a drink so good that even after the last drop, its flavor still lingers on your tongue? Love sometimes is just like that. Some love stories don't end with a clear goodbye, but rather with a lingering aftertaste, somewhere between being intoxicated and being sober, not strong enough to stay, yet not ready to walk away. I remember a time after a breakup when I would still instinctively check my phone every morning for a message from them. Not because I hoped they'd come back, but simply because it had become a habit, as if my mind was still caught in a lingering haze. Love hangover, a state that everyone goes through at least once in their life. A little lightheadedness, a little loss of control, and a little weightlessness as the last chase of love slowly fades. Today let's talk about love hangover, when love lingers like an unfinished whiskey sour, sweet, sour, and with a bitterness that likely touches the back of your throat. We're still intoxicated, but there's no one left to raise a glass with. Welcome to a moment of real time, where real moments gently touch our hearts in the most meaningful ways. If this is your first time here, think of this as a quiet corner amidst the rush of life, where we pause and reflect on the simple yet profound moments that make us who we are. I'm Matthew, or Tuấn Quận Tròn, that's my nickname, if you're listening to the Vietnamese version, and I'll be your companion on this journey. In honor of Valentine's Day, we're diving into a love hangover, that in-between feeling, when love hasn't completely faded, yet it's no longer the same. If you've ever been stuck in a relationship, without enough reason to stay, yet lacking of courage to leave, then perhaps this episode is for you. Do you remember the last time you met someone and instantly felt drawn to them? No reason, no calculations, just BAM! A glance, a smile, a simple text, and suddenly your heart skips a beat. Love, in the beginning, always has a way of making us feel intoxicated. Everything becomes fresher, more vibrant. An ordinary street turned into a place of memories. Much like a well-crafted whiskey sour, love is a mix of warmth, sweetness, and a hint of sourness from unnamed emotions. It's enticing, captivating, and sometimes makes us forget our own boundaries. I used to believe that if I love hard enough, if I try hard enough, everything would work out. But have you ever asked yourself, when the intoxication fades, what remains? How much have I changed for them? But back then, I didn't care, because love sometimes allows us to lose ourselves. Until one day, when the last chase of it fades, we realize just how far we've gone. And when the final aftertaste dissolves on your tongue, you come to a realization, somewhere along the way, I lost myself. Have you ever noticed that you're no longer happy, yet you can't seem to walk away? Not because love is still whole, but because you fear losing something that's become a part of your life. A love hangover isn't when you wake up immediately. It's when you slowly realize that something is off, but still you hesitate to let go. You tell yourself, just a little more effort, just a little more patience, and things will get better. But day after day, nothing changes. And you remain there, exhausted, yet unwilling to leave. Here are 3 signs you might be trapped in a love hangover. First, you know something has changed, but you hold on to our fear of losing something familiar. Second, you're no longer happy, but your fear of loneliness outweighs everything else. Third, you miss them, not because they were good for you, but because it became a habit. So, how do you sober up? It feels like being drunk, knowing that you've had too much, but not knowing how to stop. You're stuck in the same cycle, arguing, making up, getting hurt, hoping, and the feeling disappointed again. I've seen so many people caught in this loop. Some believe that loving more is enough. Others hope that if they try harder, their partner will change. But love, if it only comes from one side, eventually becomes a burden. One of the biggest illusions about love is thinking, if I'm good enough, if I'm patient enough, then they will change. But the truth is, if someone wants to leave, open the door and let them go. A relationship cannot survive if only one person wants to stay. This is one of the hardest lessons to learn when overcoming a love hangover. Loving wholeheartedly does not always lead to a happy ending. Sometimes, the only thing left to do is let go. Not because you are not enough, but because real love doesn't require you to beg for it. You deserve a love that flows naturally, without needing to prove your worth or lose yourself in the process. We often believe that the right person will heal all our wounds. That if someone loves us enough, the past will stop hunting us, and our pain will disappear. In reality, love doesn't heal. It only makes us forget for a moment. At the beginning of a relationship, happiness may trick us into thinking our past wounds have vanished. But over time, as challenges arise, we realize unhealed wounds won't disappear. They were just temporarily hidden behind fleeting happiness. Much like a whiskey sour, the initial sweetness masks the strong burn of alcohol. But as the burst fades, the bitterness lingers. Love may ease the pain, but it cannot replace the healing process. Only when we learn to face our own wounds can love truly be something beautiful, rather than just a temporary escape. Many people enter a relationship not out of love, but out of fear of loneliness. They believe that as long as they have someone by their side, the emptiness inside them will disappear. But the truth is, love does not erase loneliness. It only helps us temporarily forget it. We often romanticize the idea that when we meet the right person, all our loneliness will fade away. But loneliness is not simple about whether or not we have someone beside us. It is a state of mind. If you have not learned to face yourself, you will always feel empty, even within a relationship. In that case, love is no longer a connection between two independent souls, but merely a temporary lifeline. In the book 8 Rules of Love, Jay Shetty emphasizes, before we can truly love someone, we must first learn to love ourselves in solitude. Solitude, the positive state of being alone, is not about feeling abandoned or lost. Rather, it is an opportunity to deeply understand ourselves. If we cannot feel whole when we are alone, we will always search for someone else to fill the emptiness within us. Loneliness is a feeling of lack. Solitude is a state of being alone without being lonely. It is a positive and creative state of engagement with oneself. You don't need someone else to make you feel less lonely. You need to learn how to be enough on your own. Only then can love truly become a companionship rather than just a remedy for loneliness. If someone wants to leave, let them go. A relationship only truly matters when both choose to stay. Waking up after a hangover is always the hardest part. Your head is foggy, your body feels heavy, and there's a hint of regret for drinking too much. Love can feel the same way. There are relationships that, even after they end, we struggle to accept. We hold on to the beautiful memories, hoping for some kind of miracle that will bring everything back to the way it was. But have you ever stopped to ask yourself, am I holding on to something that no longer belongs to me? I used to think that if I loved hard enough, if I tried harder, things would work out. But one day, I looked in the mirror and saw someone exhausted, and I knew it was time to let go. I've seen many people trapped in that cycle, unable to accept losing someone who once meant the world to them, yet no longer finding joy in staying. It's like clinging to an empty glass, tasting only the bitterness of what's left, but still refusing to put it down. No hangover lasts forever, just as no relationship can remain stuck in the in-between. Either both people hold hands and move forward together, or they let go and find their own separate path. So, how do you get past a love hangover? Acknowledge the reality. Not every relationship is meant to last forever. Some people come into our lives just to teach us something, to help us grow. Focus on yourself instead of trying to fix something that's already broken. Letting go isn't giving up. It's sometimes the only way for both people to find true happiness. Build your independence. Don't rush into something new out of fear of being alone. If you can't be happy on your own, you'll always seek someone to fill the void. and that can lead to the wrong choices. Enjoy being single. See this time as an opportunity to growth. It's not a waiting period for new love, but a time to discover yourself, chase your passion, build your career, and enjoy life in your own way. Trust in the future. Love will come when the time is right. When both you and the right person have grown and are truly ready, love will happen naturally and wholeheartedly. Love, at its core, isn't a reckless intoxication, nor is it a drug to numb reality. Love is a choice. Out of all people in the world, you choose someone, and they choose you. And if one day that choice is no longer there, be brave enough to step away, and trust that something better is waiting ahead. So, what do you think about your ex? Do you miss them because they were truly special, or just because you're not used to a life without them? Sometimes, an ending isn't just a loss, it's a chance to write your own story. Letting go has never been easy. When a relationship comes to an end, we often carry with us the lingering aftertaste, some bitterness from the pain, some sweetness from old memories, and a sharp sting from the times we try to hold on. Like a whiskey sour, love leaves us with a complex mix of emotions, hard to put into words. But no matter how good the cocktail is, a glass can't stay full forever. At some point, we have to set it down. No one comes into our lives without leaving something behind. Maybe a lesson, a new perspective, or simply memories we'll cherish forever. And if love hangover is a state that keeps us trapped in the whirlwind of emotions, then this stage is about finally putting the glass down, taking a deep breath, and fighting ourselves again. No one expects you to forget immediately, nor do you have to be strong right after a breakup. But one thing is certain, you deserve a journey that's more than just lingering in the past. And who knows, in a bar somewhere, on a trip far from home, or in the middle of unexpected conversation, you might just find another cocktail, one with just the right kick, the right sweetness, but most importantly, one that makes you feel happy in your own way. There's nothing like doing nothing with you. At the end of the day, love isn't always about passionate highs or grand gestures. Sometimes, it's simply the quiet peace of being with someone without needing to do anything at all. Just existing together, like a slow afternoon, like moments that don't need words. But if your love no longer feels that way, if you can't be yourself around them anymore, then maybe it's time to let go. You don't have to rush into a new love, nor do you have to force yourself to be strong. Just let things unfold naturally, like a song that starts and ends on its own. Give yourself time to feel, to heal, and one day, when you sit beside someone without needing to do anything at all, you'll feel your heart at ease, like a familiar tune playing on a windless afternoon. And if you're not ready to think too much tonight, put on Nothing by Bruno Major. Pour yourself something light and just let yourself be in this moment, just here with yourself. And when you're ready, love will find you again, this time with the right person. See you in the next episode of A Moment of Real Time. If you ever experienced a love hangover and want to share your story, don't hesitate to send it my way.